All right, I'm going to call the meeting to order.
Thank you,
And
Madam.
hand it over to Grant.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. For all those in attendance and anybody viewing tonight, we have a relatively unique situation in which we do have a quorum of the council, but we do not have our mayor present, and this was the meeting in which we are going to declare our mayor pro temp, who would stand in the place of the mayor and read or run the meetings if the mayor was not present. So because we don't have a mayor or a mayor pro temp, we look to our charter for guidance. And under section 3.7 indicates and references the situation in which a mayor pro temp would be appointed, and states whenever 3 council persons, which we have tonight, shall be present at a regular meeting of the council, and neither the mayor nor the mayor pro temp shall be present, the 3 councilmen present shall elect one of them to act as an acting mayor pro temp. The council so constituted shall be empowered to conduct the regular business of the meeting. So tonight we have a quorum of 3. We have 3 folks, none of which is the mayor or the mayor pro temp, but we do need a mayor pro temp this evening in order to run the meeting and conduct the business of the council. So I'd leave it to the governing body, the council, to nominate and select a mayor pro temp for this evening.
I will nominate Jeff Marraro as mayor pro temp for this evening's festivities.
I second it.
Mrs. Brew isn't present. Mr. Kramer, Mr. Menegini,
Yes.
Mr. Marraro,
Yes.
Mrs. Steigerwald.
Yes.
Thanks, guys. Okay. So, officially, call the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Trish.
Mrs. Brew, Mr. Kramer, Mr. Menegini,
Here.
Mr. Marraro,
Here.
Mrs. Steigerwald.
Here.
Do I have a motion excusing Mayor Brew from tonight's meeting?
Support.
Motion.
I make a motion to excuse Mayor Brew from tonight's meeting.
I second it.
Mr. Marraro,
Yes.
Mrs. Steigerwald,
Yes.
Mr. Menegini.
Yes.
Do I have a motion excusing Councilmember Kramer from tonight's meeting?
I'll make a motion to excuse Councilmember Kramer from tonight's meeting.
I second it.
Mrs. Steigerwald,
Yes.
Mr. Menegini.
Yes.
Mr. Marraro.
Yes. Moving on, approval of the agenda. Any questions or comments on the agenda?
Looking
yeah,
at
sorry.
item 4.
Yes, thank you, Rico.
I suggest we table item 4 for the selection of the mayor pro tem until the whole council is present.
Yep, I agree. Would you make a motion to that?
I'll make a
Rico?
motion to table item 4, selection of mayor pro tem until the next regularly scheduled meeting.
I second it.
Trish?
Mr. Menegini,
Yes.
Mr. Marraro,
Yes.
Mrs. Steigerwald.
Yes.
So we will table item 4 until the next official council meeting. Dan, you can add it to the next agenda for us. Okay, thanks, guys. All right. And now approve the agenda. Now we can approve the agenda as is.
Just want me to keep doing it, or?
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Support.
Mr. Marraro,
Yes.
Mrs. Steigerwald,
Yes.
Mr. Menegini.
Yes.
Approval of the minutes, executive session of September 18th, 2024.
I would like to abstain from that approval because I was not there.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the executive session, September 18th, 2024.
Support.
Okay, Mrs. Steigerwald. You're gonna
Abstain.
Mr. Menegini.
Yes.
Mr. Marraro.
Yes.
So we only have 2.
That's fine.
2 of 3.
Got it.
And then the approval of minutes of the regular meeting of October 2nd, 2024.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of October 2nd, 2024.
I second it.
Mr. Minigini?
Yes.
Mr. Mararo?
Yes.
Mrs. Steigerwald?
Yes.
Moving on, approval of manifest 2024-20 in the amount of $444,154.05. Do we have any questions?
No questions here.
No questions.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve manifest 2024-20 in the amount of $444,154.05.
I second it.
Mr. Mararo?
Yes.
Mrs. Steigerwald?
Yes.
Mr. Minigini?
Yes.
Answer to previous manifest questions, we have none. Public comment, any item of interest. Anyone in attendance wishing to address the council on any item of interest shall do so at the podium now. State your name and address for the record. Comments shall be limited to 3 minutes per person. The council will not engage in discussion or debate during public comment. If the matter needs further discussion, the council may direct the city manager to place the item on a future agenda. As we have no one in the audience, we will move on to the public comment. Anyone in attendance wishing to address the council on agenda items shall only do so at the podium. State your name and address for the record. Comment shall be limited to 3 minutes. The council will not engage in discussion or debate during public comment. If the matter needs further discussion, the council may direct the city manager to place the item on a future agenda. Moving on to actionable items. I used Mr. Heavy. Dan.
So this is a resolution recognizing former Councilmember Pop's service to the community. It's resolution 2024-18 that recognizes his service and his accomplishments while serving on the council. We'll also have a plaque for him, but we had a little printer issue this week. We just got it up and running, so I don't have that available. I did reach out to Mr. Pop. Unfortunately, he wasn't available to attend this. But our recommendation, of course, is to approve resolution 2024-18, recognizing Mr. Pop's service to the community.
Ricky, any comments?
No comments.
Rico, you served with Scotty for,
Yeah.
would you like to say anything?
No, did a great job. One of the reasons why I'm here, Scott Pop.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, here. 5 years, I've been here 5. I was with Scott the whole time. He helped me early on, especially as a young council member, to learn the ropes a bit. Got to know him well, and he's a class act, so I'd just like to thank former Councilman Pop for his 9 years of service, public service to the city of Norway, and good luck to his football team here moving forward. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that resolution 2024-18 recognizing the recognition of Councilmember Scott Pomp be approved.
I second it.
Mrs. Steigerwald?
Yes.
Mr. Minigini?
Yes.
Mr. Mararo?
Yes. Item number 2, resolution 2024-19, MDOT State Trunk Line Maintenance Contract. Mr. Dan.
Thank you, temporary pro tem.
Pro temp.
Yeah.
So this is a contract with MDOT for if we do any work during the winter months servicing portions of US 8 and US 2 within the city limits, we can charge for that. This is a 5-year. Last time we did this was in 2019, so this is a re-up of that agreement.
Rates stay the same? Do we get a bump?
No, yeah, nothing's changed. It's the same as the previous one. This kind of, they reached out to me. We were one of a few communities left to finalize this, something that I had overlooked sometime in July, that this was, I thought it was spam. It was not. So I've been talking with them to get this going through. I had the paperwork submitted that they needed. The only thing that was left was a approving resolution. Basically, the resolution is authorizing myself to sign that contract on council's behalf.
I do believe that the county is first, right, first and foremost with the highways?
Yeah,
We
do
just
not-
kind of
we
like
do
a
not do
backup
regular
thing?
maintenance. Yes.
Yeah.
We do not do regular maintenance. If we're called upon to haul away snow or something like that, that's when we come and play,
Okay.
but we don't do a lot for them.
Questions, comments, guys?
No questions.
All set, Rick? Okay. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve Resolution 2024-19, a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute the 5-year MDOT state truck line maintenance contract.
Support.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mr. Mararo?
Yes.
Mrs. Steigerwald?
Yes?
Moving on to the item 3, GEI agreement. Dan?
So GEI has been the engineering contractor we've been using for the DWAM, which is the lead copper service line inspections. During that process, GEI and I, we went out for another grant, this is the TMF grant, which council approved accepting that grant a meeting or so ago. We have about $400,000 in that grant. And that grant is to continue this project forward. So this is basically an extension to continue to use GEI as our engineering consultant through that project. To me, it makes the most sense. They are the ones that we've been with at the beginning of this project. It makes sense to continue with them to continue forward with this project.
Scope's the same, financial arrangements are the same, the whole 9 yards?
Yep, and their reimbursements through the grant. So that's how their services are paid.
And it's an extension for $17,500,
Correct.
not to exceed?
Yeah, and that money gets deducted. We turn that in to get reimbursed.
Okay.
They were outside my house, doing this kind of, I don't know, but workers were outside our house doing this work. They, boom, they're done in a day. Replaced, cold patch pavement, looks like, replaced, very, very well done and professionally done.
Yeah,
So,
they're doing a good job.
appreciate
Doing a good
that.
job.
Yeah, and I've seen them kind of in a few spots around town already, so.
A lot of work to go, but we are
Yeah.
making progress.
Yeah. Ricky, any questions, comments?
No?
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the contract with GEI as presented to perform engineering services and assist the city in implementation and execution of the TMF grant for the lead line verification.
I second it.
Mr. Mararo?
Yes.
Mrs. Steigerwald?
Yes?
Mr. Menegini?
Yes. Just a question on that. Say they did find a lead line outside of my house. What's the procedure and protocol for the homeowners to be notified?
So, if we find one, we do notify the homeowner. We are also replacing that connection that is in that particular hole. But that doesn't stop. There's more to it than just that fix. We have to verify the inside, then
Go through the
replace
whole
that. But we also have to replace the entire service line to the house. We effectively have 15 more years to finish all of those replacements. If we're able to do it, then we are, but the entire from curb to the service line to the house and the house is unlikely to happen right now. It's a bigger problem. But we're also looking for grants to pay for that as well.
So homeowners shouldn't be expecting to be notified of anything just because of the presence of
Yeah.
this work happening, only if
Yep.
lead is detected or further work needs to be done.
Where we're checking was a 20% random selection of our utility customers. So it was just to get a swath of the entire city to kind of get a baseline of, do we think we have something in this area? You do 5 in that area, likely that area is something we need to, and that's where this grant is kind of specified, and we find 6 in the neighborhood. Well, now we suspect these all are also,
Gotcha.
and then we inspect those.
Thanks for explaining that.
Okay, moving on. Item 4 is no longer with us tonight. Discussion items. Item 1, Water Department Locator Purchase Request. Mr. Stoltman.
So I had this under discussion just to kind of get this on your radar. What we are kind of finding now, we're doing a lot of locates. All the city departments are doing a lot of locates with DWAMs, fiber. The electric department needed theirs replaced because of accuracy issues. And we are now finding the same thing with ours. Sometimes in the tune of 6 feet or so off. We're pairing ours with the electric departments to verify that, in fact, our locator is faulty. We spoke to, I think it was a gentleman from DTE that does this, or it might have been, anyways, ours is like 2 watts. For what we're looking for, they figured maybe like 20 to get the depth. Some are 12 feet deep. So we have looking at different options of what we think would service us the best. What we really like about the election department's one is that it's integrated with our GIS. So when we locate it, it can drop a pin in our GIS of where that shut off and that connection to the main is at. So we will likely bring back a little better information and more quotes and better idea of what we really feel like we need. Again, we want to use the election departments a little bit, just to get an idea if that's the way we want to go. Borrowing theirs long-term isn't so viable because they're often also doing locates similarly to what we are doing in the water department. There is a chance that while this isn't reimbursable through these DWAM grants, its usage can be. So as we use it, we may be able to get reimbursed for its use as a piece of equipment. So that would be helpful in paying for that problem.
Crafty.
So, like I said, no motion needed tonight, just to answer any questions if anyone had anything about the locates and what we're finding and
We do that many locates simultaneously between water and electric?
yeah, I mean, oftentimes if there's, a locate, depending on if electric's underground or above ground, it can, and they don't always coincide. But with the amount that we're doing, as the limited time you have to do the locate once it comes in, which is 3 days, the chances of them overlapping for different locates is gonna be high. So from a long-term standpoint, it makes the most sense that they each have their own, which they currently do. It's just they are aging out, 10, 15 years old.
How old is the one that they're verifying with?
The election department one, or the
Yes.
one where, that one's brand new, we just bought that one last year or this year? But, no, in last one, but brand new,
So then we would have 2 newer models.
correct. Yeah,
And does that one connect with the GPS?
It does.
It does, okay.
yep, yep, that's kind of the middle road in cost. There's more expensive ones that will GPS it as well as give you an estimated depth of the locate that you're doing, which can be helpful for the contractors to get in there, but that bumps it up considerably in cost.
Contractors can have that.
So hopefully, if we do end up purchasing one, I'll also kind of give you an idea of where that money would come from within the water department, if it could qualify for some other RR&I grant, or again, just simply coming up with an ability to charge its use, like the contractors that we have for this project, they're charging for their time and their equipment. So very similarly to that, we feel like we can charge that use to help recoup some of that money.
Does the city have any need for future projects to know what the depth of those pipes and everything are?
It's hard to say from a project standpoint. There will always be locates. It will always be beneficial to know your depth, and you'll just have an idea of how far you have to go down to get it. So if you think it's typically a 6 foot for a main, it turns out to be 12, and you get to 6, you keep looking. It'd be nice to know going into what you got. It could also determine the type of equipment you use to locate it. But that certainly is not as important as locating it in within a pretty tight parameter of where it's at.
Okay.
You're 6 feet off, you could be hitting something else that you don't know is there.
All right.
So, just something that we're looking at. I'll get verification how we might be able to charge that, a better idea of what we think we might need and how we would go about paying for it and how much I think we could recoup. But just wanted to get on the growth radar, try to answer any questions you might have, and if you think of something afterwards, again, feel free to contact us. We can kind of go over what it is and how we think we might need it.
All good, Rick?
All good?
Rico, anything else?
No? Good.
All right. Moving on to mayor and council comments. Ricky?
No comments?
Mr. Meneghini?
No comments?
Mr. Treasurer?
No comments.
Mrs. City Clerk?
No comment.
Mr. Stoltman?
I'll just say unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend Leif Erikson, visiting my wife's family, but I heard it went really well. It had a great attendance. You know, we made a good effort this year with our DDA coordinator and event coordinator to help bring it all together. I think it showed. Yeah, what I was told. So I just want to thank everyone for volunteering. Our new treasurer was out there volunteering. So we appreciate that, and everyone else that came out there.
Tricia was too.
And Tricia was volunteering,
Wow.
and Brock. I volunteered last year.
If you find stuff in your coffee tomorrow,
It's not about you.
It's true. But just thanks to everyone who was part of that event and put it on, and look forward to next year.
Awesome.
Mr. Carlson?
Briefly, congratulations, Mayor Pro Temp.
Thanks, yeah.
Nice work tonight.
Thank you.
Congratulations to Ms. Steigerwald for your first meeting. We appreciate you on the council and participating in your first meeting. Looking forward to working with you for the foreseeable future. That's all I've got. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, Leif Erikson, everybody involved, thanks so much. You know, volunteers, the planners, the prep stuff, and all the participants. It was great. Wish the weather could have been a little bit nicer, but again, it wasn't terrible for we've had worse.
I was gonna say, as far as Leaf goes, that was,
There's no
Yeah,
rain.
we've
That
had-
wasn't
we've
bad.
had worse. But if we had it the weekend before, it'd have been like 80.
yeah, but if it would've been on Sunday, it would've been,
Yeah, it
Probably
would have been the
would've
same
had
thing.
less people.
Exactly, exactly. Besides that, again, thanks to Mr. Former Council Member Pop, who we recognize tonight. And, you know, I think that's about it for me. So, if there's no other comments or questions, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
support?
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mr. Mararo?
Yes,
Mrs. Steigerwald?
Yes?
meeting adjourned.